All right, now we are on the case studies. I will just try to quickly go through them. So I selected these 5 bloggers. Obviously, first of all, I really, excluding myself, I selected them because I really like their blogs, and also because I wanted to kind of have an understanding how different people do their blogging, and based on the length of their blogging and also looking at their following, just wanted to understand and compare how these things happen in real life. So the first is Anam from The Spice of Adulting. She has a following of around 40K. Then there's Javeria's blog, Javeria. Her following is 30K. Then Zara from The RK Effect, 20K. And Nargis, mum's the word PK, 10K. And that's me. Noon means Nayab, under 10K. So I'm the worst of the lot. But anyway. Moving on. First, let's just quickly go through Anand's blog. So before I created this, I kind of created a questionnaire and I asked them about all the different concepts that I have just told you, and I asked them how they approach these things. So what you see in front of you is based on their answers. So Anam started blogging around over 3 years ago, and she actually has around the same number of followers on Facebook as well. She also has a website, and she started as a hobby. So she really started when it wasn't as saturated. The blogging world wasn't as saturated as it is now. And she spent a lot of time on Facebook as well and building her website, but now she's primarily on Instagram. Her niche initially was parenting and adulting, basically, but over time it has evolved and it's more lifestyle now. And she's the kind of blogger who is very comfortable talking about anything that is kind of happening in her life and what she believes in. And the funny thing is, I asked each of these bloggers to tell me the point of difference in their content, and Anam's reply was that you can see here that it's my honesty. The audience understands that whatever I share comes from a genuine place. Thoughts, ideas, products, whatever she shares, it's shared not because she wants to have an online persona, but because she actually really uses and believes in it. And that is exactly what Anam's blog is like. You can tell that she is genuine in just the way she is and the way she writes and the way she shares things. So with Anam, she is kind of like, she does it as a hobby mostly. And so for her, the primary focus in terms of, if we see the target audience, she is more inclined to write about things that are a personal creative expression for her, and her secondary focus would be what the target audience, like thinking more about the target audience. So she thinks more about what comes naturally to her. She doesn't necessarily have any kind of visual theme going, but she's comfortable sharing photos of her family and her friends, herself and her family. And yeah, she does consider readability when she's writing. She does consider, and her content speaks for itself. So it kind of grabs you and you want to read more. In terms of insights and monetization, audience engagement, she has a great genuine following. It's always good. She monetizes through brand collaborations, PR packages plus fee, using marketing apps and agents both. And she has also been brand ambassador for different brands. In terms of growth and networking, she's quite temperamental. So sometimes she would be very active, she would be engaging with people, but then at times she would just be kind of not doing any of it. And but again, she does everything as it naturally comes to her. So, and it works for her. So that's basically Anam. The next blogger that I wanted to feature was Javeria. Now, Javeria's blog, I found it very interesting because for the amount of years she has been blogging, her growth is very, very good, and her audience engagement is very, very good. And I think besides the fact that her content is good, one of the reasons is that she has always focused on one platform. So she has always been just kind of working and putting all her energies in her Instagram business account. and also her niche is quite specific. So skincare mostly. Now I think it has evolved more into lifestyle, but most of her posts are generally around skincare. And the point of difference in her content is that, first of all, it's all very well researched, but also it is based on her personal experience, and she has this tendency to explain things to people in a very easy way. So that's why people are really attracted towards her blog. And I think it works really well for her, because within just 2 years she has gained a really good following, and this is all genuine following. So I think job well done, Javeria. And in terms of, and again, another thing that she does is she always keeps her target audience in mind. And I think, again, it's a very important factor if you want to grow in this thing, that you are offering a service to other people rather than it just being more about yourself. So she keeps her audience in mind at all times. Although the topics that she chooses are based on her personal choice, but her audience is always the primary focus of the way she puts it out there. She considers titles readability, doesn't necessarily follow a visual theme, and she specifically only posts about herself and her products and not her family. In terms of insights and monetization, great audience engagement. She also does brand collaborations, PR packages, and PR packages plus fee, and she's also been brand ambassador. So she does all these things. And in terms of growth and networking, she is consistent in posting. She studies her post insights. She consistently is present on Insta stories. She engages with her audience. She engages with other bloggers. She stays on trend. She posts on other communities like Facebook, etc. She does call to action. So she does all the right things that you should be doing if you want to grow your blog. And I think that's very good. And as you can see, the results speak for itself. She has a great following in a short amount of time. And a lot of bloggers follow these things, and I see them grow really, really quickly. Like, I have been around for a while, and and one day I just see, like, oh my God, that person has gone like so high, but then they put in that effort and that energy into their blogs. They do all the right things, and it pays off. The next blog is The Archie Effect. That's by Zara. Now, Zara's blog is very interesting to me because Zara's content is very, very relatable. Like, so her point of difference, in her own words, is that she talks about being a woman and believing in herself, and being a woman in her own right before a wife, mom, designer, and she basically propagates being proud of being a woman. And I think that is the kind of thing that really, really is relevant to her target audience. People really relate to it, and her content gets shared like crazy. Like, those posts that you see on WhatsApp that people keep forwarding, those are the kind of things like she does. Like, her content has I think that is one of the reasons of her growth, because she also grew very quickly on Instagram. And one of the reasons is that her content, of course, again, very well-written pieces, but also very relatable to her target audience. And and the kind of post that really makes people want to share it with other people. And so intent-wise, she also does it as a hobby. She also has a Facebook page, but again, she's mostly present on Instagram now. In terms of niche, she is motivational, positivity, and decor as well, because she's an architect like myself. We are actually really good friends. And so target audience is her primary focus. She has excellent audience engagement. She tries to keep her visuals in mind when she's posting. She considers her titles and readability, and she also is comfortable posting photos of herself and products and not her family. In terms of growth and networking, she uses the relevant hashtags. She's consistent in posting. She studies her post insights, and she builds upon that. Like, whatever worked for example, one post, she will try to replicate that success in other posts. She engages with her peers and audience, and she also posts on other communities like Facebook, etc. And she does call to action as well. So again, she actively puts effort into her growth by following all these things. And again, it really works very well for her as well. So the next is Mom's the Word PK, who Nargis. She has also been blogging for 2 years, and her niche is lifestyle and mom blogger. Now, the reason I chose Nargis was because she is one of those bloggers who does not show her face on her Instagram. So I thought that's a really unique aspect, and that is something a lot of people want to do when they do a public blog. They don't really want to show their face, and that's why I wanted to showcase Nargis. That she has a very good following, and she also doesn't show her face, but she's doing really, really well. The reason being, of course, again, her content is good. The way she writes, it's beautiful to read. And then because she doesn't show her face, then she invests her time and effort into the visuals of her post. So she retains a visual theme. You can kind of see that aspect in her Instagram. She also writes more for personal creative expression, and but obviously also keeps target audience in mind. And other than that, she also writes about trending topics, and yeah. So insight-wise, again, really good audience engagement. She has a media kit. She monetizes through brand collaborations and PR packages. In terms of growth, she does hashtags, geotags, Insta stories, engaging with audience, engaging with other bloggers. And yeah, so she has this mysterious vibe going on about her, and that's really attractive to people, and that's why a lot of people love to follow her. The last, but not the least, is myself, Nayab Noon Memes. Now, what is the point of difference in my content is that I am funny, and I'm able to make people laugh. And I kind of like telling stories creatively. So that has always been the point of difference that has worked in my favor, because all the things that you're supposed to do to grow, I don't actively do them personally. As I told you, like, I have been blogging for around 2.5 years as well. And I have a Facebook page. I have an Instagram account. As I told you, the first year I did not know that I was supposed to have a business account. So I was just using my personal account. And then, so the second year I moved to a business account, and it made much more sense. Niche is humor, and over time I share more of the spiritual side of myself, the things that I learn and I study. With me, again, for me, the primary focus is my personal creative expression, and and less on the target audience. In terms of captions and visuals, I do topics based on my personal choice. I do consider readability. So that is the only thing I really work on, is how good it is to read. Because for me, it's all about storytelling. So that's the most important part of my content. I don't follow a visual theme. You can see it is all over the place. But it works in my favor, I think. That's what I tell myself. Because, for example, this ugly cake thing that I made, there was a very funny story to go with it. And therefore, it had a really good audience engagement. And that is what I really love about my blog, is that it has a really good audience engagement. It is like, I am very successful in my own eyes until I look at other people. Then I start feeling, oh my God, I'm not that successful. But if I don't look at other people, I'm actually very successful, because I have a great audience. Anyway, moving on. So audience engagement, it's always in good range. I have started monetizing recently through brand collaborations, PR packages. And as I said, I use an influencer marketing app for getting connected to brands, which is Tribe. And that's in Australia and UK. In terms of growth and networking, I'm very, very bad. I do use hashtags, but other than that, I'm not consistent in posting. I only do Insta stories because I love it. But other than that, I don't really actively engage with people, especially other bloggers. And yeah, so that's that. And that's basically it. If I was to conclude this whole talk, I would just say that if you want to really grow and grow well in blogging, please focus on one platform for quick growth. Unless you're a business, then I recommend you have a website. Be niche specific. It will really help you in the beginning. Create content with target audience as primary focus. Again, that will really help you to grow. Have a clear point of difference. Create relatable, shareable content. Again, that will, that will make your content visible to a larger audience. Study your post insights. Be smart about it. Replicate success aspects of your best posts. Be consistent in posting, collaborate and network, post on trending topics, engage with your audience, consider your visuals and call to action, all the things that I don't actively do, but hopefully after this, I will do it. And yeah, just remember that blogging takes a lot of time to actually, that you start earning from it and you start gaining the audience. So you have to be very, very patient with it. Yeah, that's basically it. Thank you so much for listening. I am Nayab Shoukat. I am a blogger at Noon Memes. I have social media platforms on both Facebook and Instagram. So if you would like to come join me and follow me, and I would love to have you. Thank you.